Long ago, there was a huge giant named Suur Tõll. He lived on an island named Saaremaa, which he ruled over as its king. On the island was a village named Toell. This is where Suur Tõll made his home, with his wife Piret. Suur Tõll had a rival, Vanatuhi. He lived in a forest on the island. He was known by many as the Old Vile One. During his days, aside from doing plenty of farm work, Suur Tõll would throw large rocks across the island, in the hopes of hitting Vanatuhi or other unwelcome guests to his land. He thought of himself as a protector to those who lived on Saaremaa. Often, when Suur Tõll had finished his work for the day, Vanatuhi would sneak close to the village to throw the rocks that had been thrown at him back, all over Suur Tõll's freshly ploughed fields. One day, the island of Saaremaa was invaded while Toell was sleeping. The inhabitants tried to defend against the attackers, but they were too much for them, and so a group went to Toell's house and called for his aid.
Toell, we need your help. The island is under attack.
Toell woke up, and his wife, Piret, prepared a meal for him and 20 of the best warriors on the island. Once they had had their fill, they marched together, ready for battle. Toell was carrying 2 huge wheels that he had removed from his wheelbarrows. They reached the battlefield, and Toell witnessed the inhabitants of his island perishing at the hands of the enemy. Swords sliced through them. He ran in and swung his arms around. The huge barrow wheels that he clutched smashed through the army, crushing and destroying them. Soon, the battle had turned, and Toell was nearly victorious in defending his people. But Vanatuhi, the Old Vile One, had been watching, and took this opportunity to approach Suur Tõll's house. He began to smash against it, and removed bricks and stones from the walls. Piret ran out.
What are you doing? Stop it! Stop it!
She shouted at him. Vanatuhi just laughed and continued to destroy their home. As the building collapsed, one of the large stones hit Piret and knocked her unconscious. Meanwhile, Suur Tõll and the island's warriors had succeeded in their battle. Toell returned to his home to see it in ruin, and his wife, laying on the floor. She was dead. Enraged, Toell uprooted a tree, broke it into a large club, and ran in search of the Old Vile One. Vanatuhi tried to hide from him. Toell ran all the way to the coast and did not see him. Vanatuhi watched him and let out a sigh in relief of not being spotted, but then suddenly felt a heavy strike in his stomach. Toell had found him. He ran away in pain, and Toell gave chase, waving his club in the air. He reached the shoreline, and Toell caught up to him.
Now I will kill you, you vile monster.
No, please.
Vanatuhi flinched and fell backwards into the sea, whose harsh waters dragged him under, drowning him. Toell returned to the ruins of his home. He collected large stones and made a grave for Piret. Many of the islanders came to show their respects. They did not have much time to mourn, though. They spotted smoke in the distance, rising above the forest. The island was under attack again.
Everyone together, follow me.
Toell called, and he grabbed his enormous wheelbarrow. He and the island's best warriors raced to the source of the smoke to see the army of the enemy, led by a huge warlord. Toell swung his wheelbarrow around and around, knocking down large groups of fighters from the rival army. But their fearsome warlord drove his sword through Toll's island warriors, one after another. As his allies fell, Toll frantically fought on. In a moment of distraction, his barrow fell from his hand. And as he crouched to retrieve it, the warlord's sword sliced through his neck, and he was beheaded. Suur Tõll was dead, and a silence fell over the battlefield. But death was not enough to stop Toll's tenacious defense of his people. His headless body crawled towards the warlord, and one of his huge hands reached out and grabbed him. The hand squeezed and crushed the life out of him. The invading army looked on in terror and fled. They did not return. The body of Suur Tõll continued to move. It picked up its own head and walked on, carrying it. However, it did not get far before it collapsed. Toll's fallen head spoke up before closing its eyes for good.
If our enemy attacks again, wake me, and I will defend our island.
In time, grass grew and covered the body of Suur Tõll, and it became a large green hill. A burial mound for the islanders to visit and thank.